Handra's here to help me on this one. So in prior TikToks, you guys have heard me talk about RRMS and CIS. You heard me mention SPMS and PPMS, and this time we are going to talk about SPMS. Now, SPMS and PPMS, I have done no research on yet. So we're going to learn about this one together. So apologies, I'm not going to be looking at you guys frequently. I will be actually reading off this webpage. And once again, I am using the nationalmssociety.org's webpage. I have the link to it down in my little, down here, forget what it's called. Brain is scattered today. So SPMS is secondary progressive MS. It follows the initial relapsing remitting course, and what that means is RRMS can eventually down the line turn into a progressive form, and this is a progressive form. Some people diagnosed with RRMS eventually go on to have a secondary progressive course in which neurologic function worsens progressively or disability accumulates over time. Oh, I just repeated myself. Apologies. SPMS can be further characterized as either active with relapses and or evidence of new MRI activity during a specified period of time, or not active as well with progression, evidence of disability accrual over time with or without relapses on new MRI activity, or without progression. I'm going to share a little chart to help you. So once again, I'm going to be reading from the website about this chart. This graphic shows the kinds of disease activities that might occur in SPMS over time, but each person's experience with SPMS, once again, is unique. SPMS follows relapsing remitting MS. Disability increases over time with or without signs of disease activity or relapses or changes on an MRI. In SPMS, the person might have occasional relapses as well as periods of stability. So as you can see in the chart, that gray area, that's discussing RRMS, and then active relapsing or progression of disability with the MRIs. You can watch that going up. You can watch it going into active relapse or active MRI activity without progression. You can see it goes not active. You can see it can stay stable, or you can have new MRI activity, and you can just basically stack everything and get worse and worse and worse. Doesn't seem good. But give me 1 second. I need to load a new web page and dig deeper into this for you. Okay. Let's discuss common signs and symptoms of SPMS, sorry, not SS. My brain is like getting squished with a lot of knowledge right now. So if you have SPMS, you will experience a gradual, steady change in your ability to do things over time, but one person's symptoms might progress differently or more rapidly than somebody else's. Symptoms of SPMS include bowel and bladder problems such as an urgent need to urinate, difficulty with walking and coordination, fatigue, numbness or tingling, problems with cognition such as learning, remembering information, or processing it, spasticity or stiffness of the muscles, vision problems such as double vision. Ooh, there's a little button for more MS symptoms, so let's go look at that. So there's a symptom called MS hug. I can't pronounce the scientific name for it. It is often a first symptom of MS or relapse. An MS hug is squeezing sensation around the torso that feels like a blood pressure cuff when it tightens. Walking or gait difficulties, numbness or tingling, fatigue, spasticity. If you guys don't know what spasticity means, spasticity is a symptom characterized by muscle stiffness and involuntary contractions. It often stems from neurological conditions. Weakness, which usually results in deconditioning of unused muscles or damage to the nerves that stimulate the muscles. That can be managed with rehabilitation strategies, the use of mobility aids, physical therapy, etc. You can get vertigo and dizziness, vision problems, which for many people is the first symptom of MS, optic neuritis, neuromyelitis optica, blurred vision, poor contrast or color vision, and pain on eye movement. It can be frightening and it should be evaluated promptly. You can have bladder problems, bowel problems, sexual problems. You can have sexual dysfunction, and it's commonly experienced by people with MS as a result of damage to the nervous system. You can have pain and itching. Actually, pain syndromes are common in MS. In one study, 55% of people with MS had clinically significant pain at some time, and almost half had chronic pain. Cognitive changes. Changes in cognitive function are common. Emotional changes can be a reaction to the stresses of living with MS, as well as the result of neurologic and immune changes. Anxiety, mood swings, irritability, episodes of uncontrollable laughing and crying pose significant challenges for people with MS, and depression. There are some less common symptoms, but they are still symptoms that, should be aware of. And they are speech problems. Speech problems including slurring and a loss of volume occur in approximately 25 to 45% of people with MS, particularly later in the disease course and during periods of extreme fatigue. Stuttering is also occasionally reported as well. Loss of taste. 1/4 of people diagnosed with MS experience diminished taste. What? No, I like food. Don't take that away from me. Swallowing problems. Swallowing problems referred to as dysphagia. Once again, think I'm pronouncing that right. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Not a medical professional here. Result from damage to the nerves controlling the many small muscles in the mouth and throat. Tremors or uncontrollable shaking can vary in various parts of the body because of the damaged areas along the complex nerve pathways that are responsible for coordination of movements. Breathing problems. Respirations problems occur in people with MS whose chest muscles have been severely weakened. Seizures. Seizures are not a common symptom of MS, but can be challenging for individuals who experience this. And hearing loss. About 6% of people who have MS complain of impaired hearing. In very rare cases, hearing loss has been reported to be the first symptom of the disease. Jesus. This is terrifying. Also, hi, Raichu. She's decided to come help us with the science today, too. You're getting edumacated, girly pop. She's getting edumacated. So am I, too. Oh, shit. Okay, so that's all primary symptoms. There's also a secondary symptom set which impacts the disease. Secondary symptoms are the complications that can arise as a result of these primary symptoms. For example, bladder dysfunction can cause repeated urinary tract infections. Inactivity can cause loss of muscle tone, weakness, poor posture, decreased bone density, increased risk of fractures, and shallow, inefficient breathing. Immobility can cause pressure sores. While secondary symptoms can be treated, the optimal goal is to avoid them by treating the primary symptoms. The impacts of MS on your life can lead to additional social, vocational, and psychological complications. For example, if you are no longer able to drive or walk, you might not be able to hold down your usual job. The stress and strain of dealing with MS often alters social networks and sometimes fractures relationships. People with bladder control, tremors, or swallowing might cause people to withdraw from social interactions and become isolated. And I mean, that makes sense. I've been isolating since diagnosis. I reached out to a handful of core people. I kind of put it up on my socials, but I haven't really been interacting with anybody. I canceled the dinner party I had because I'm freaking out. Not on this level, but like I can understand that. Fucking Christ, this is a lot. And there's still more. I'm just like kind of covering the surface here for you guys. So, I'm going to end it here because once again, we're getting long. I highly, once again, encourage you to educate, learn more, pay attention, because you never know who it can help. And the cited links are down here for you if you would like to do some research.